Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Christopher Billings. I have Sabbath joining me today on Off the Script. We recently found out on episode 57 that you would be facing Samararo for the TPP Championship at Breakdown, and what has been a controversy-filled, past 30 days for you and for Samararo. Immediately after he won the title at Over the Limit against Craig Hazard, that following show, he defended his title against you, and the match was abruptly ended when James Braden came to the ring and he speared you, causing a disqualification, giving Samararo the win. And so the question is, we've heard the things you said, and I mean, that next week you turned around and you gave the divine intervention to James Braden in a tag team match. So the question is, what is what is Sabbath's alignment with Die Hard or not with Die Hard? What is going on?
Well, the big thing about the whole situation is that I'm not aligned with Die Hard, nor am I gonna, what's the best phrase to put it in? Nor am I not gonna be aligned with Die Hard. Not that I'm working with TCO in any way, shape, or form. I despise TCO. Braden, as you recently just said, Braden came into the ring and speared me in my title match. And that match wasn't so much about me gaining the title as it was my return after Cimararo basically took me out. He put me out for about a month, I believe, due to a concussion. And on my first match back, Braden comes into the ring and just completely ruins my chances of doing anything. So that put Braden on my hit list, so to say. And Cimararo, this point wasn't exactly brought up yet, but we all know that Die Hard gave Cimararo the weeks off up until Breakdown, and I believe he's trying to avoid me because he knows that I can beat him, and I will beat him just like I beat Braden. Just like I gave Braden the divine intervention, so shall it be given to Cimararo given the chance. I know I haven't exactly answered your question yet, but my answer is in no way, shape, or form am I aligned with TCO or Die Hard. I just want the same thing that they want, and I want to see Cimararo get taken out.
Well, I mean, the question is, that was a great answer. I mean, I'm not saying that you avoided the question or indirectly answered it, but it's no secret that when you originally were supposed to debut in the power plant, over a year, or actually almost 2 years ago now, but you got sidelined with an 18-month injury. And, I remember when you were getting ready to debut, I was talking to you in the back, and you had said, I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to do this. And you came back, 18 months later. You were involved in the tournament. It came down to you and Samararo, and you guys had a slugfest, to get to that final, to decide who was going to face Craig Hazard at Over the Limit. And when you got injured, how do you, what do you, what was the thought process that went through your head, when you realized that you got injured again?
The thought process was I've got to do better, I've got to get stronger, I've got to come back from this somehow. But at the same time that I say that, a lot of my thought process was pure rage. And honestly, it's not Cimararo as a person because I respect Cimararo. I really do. He's a great in-ring competitor. As you said, we had an amazing match, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for Cimararo. That being said, simply because Cimararo was the one that gave me the concussion and sidelined me, automatically makes me despise him and makes him my biggest target. If you're going to hurt me, then I'm going to come back and hurt you 10 times worse. Which is why on the last episode, as you saw, I hit Cimararo as hard as I could and took him out, which is exactly what I plan on doing at Breakdown. Whether I win the title, whether I lose, my entire goal is to hurt Cimararo as badly as he hurt me so that I can feel better about myself and I can feel like I've done something since my concussion due to Cimararo.
Well, that also brings in, kind of my next question too. Um, with Breakdown being this Sunday, okay, we all know that the main event is going to feature you and Samararo going at it for the TPP title. But what can we expect to see? I mean, is it gonna is it gonna be the same match that we saw when you guys were fighting for the final spot for the title, or is it gonna be more, or is it gonna be less? I mean, is it gonna be quick, slow?
if I have anything to say about it, it's going to be so much more and it's going to be very slow. All I want to do is stand with him face to face, eye to eye, and just slug it out. I want to hit him as hard as I can, get him on the ground, and continue to beat him. I have no interest in winning the match anytime soon, so you probably won't see a lot of quick pins from me. You won't see me go for a lot of near falls. Like I said, my main goal is to hurt Cimararo. I want to injure Cimararo. I want to sideline him. I want to do everything in my power to just take him out. That is my goal for Breakdown.
Well, and speaking of breakdown and speaking of Cimararo, and I know that a lot of this interview has been focused on, some Zach Cimararo, but I've gotta ask. I mean, you've clearly stated that you have no affiliation with Die Hard and
Yes,
everything
that's true.
okay, and everything that's been going on. So, do you think that Cimararo and Die Hard, with Cimararo being off the show for a month straight, when Die Hard was saying he was healing and recovering, do you believe that that is true, or do you believe that Cimararo has been screwed by Die Hard? I mean,
Personally, I would like not to believe it, but when you look at the facts, it's kind of hard. I mean, Cimararo, with no offense to Craig Hazard, Cimararo basically gets the title put into his hands. In his first title defense, something happens to go wrong, and he retains the championship via disqualification. Sure, he still lost that match, but he didn't actually lose it. And then the next day, or I'm sorry, the next week, with Die Hard saying that we're going to keep Cimarron off the show to keep his health up, even though his health wasn't even truly down in the first place. It's hard to argue with the facts. It would be like any court case, There's what you believe and there's what you know. And as far as what we know, it seems as though Cimarron is, in fact, turning his back on the fans, so to say, and having Die Hard's back, being there to fight with Die Hard or work with Die Hard or whatever it is that these two have schemed and have planned. It's just hard to argue with what we've seen so far. I guess we'll just have to keep watching and keep an eye on the two of them and see what happens.
fair enough, fair enough. And then, okay, so I got one last question for you, Sabbath, and then, I know you're in the process of getting ready to do your training and everything, because I know you're getting ready for breakdown as well as every other superstar in the power plant. But what, let's say, best case scenario for you, let's say you win the TPP title this Sunday at breakdown. What can we expect to see from
Well,
Sabbath?
as a champion, what you can expect to see from Sabbath is pure competition. Any person that's willing to step forth and challenge me, I will more than gladly accept. Um, I think after winning the championship, if I do, my first real big target would probably have to be Titan. And the only reason I say that is because Titan is the biggest guy in the power plant. He's the baddest guy in the power plant. And for the champion to knock him off and to respect him enough to be willing to give him a shot at the championship, I think that could boost his career that a little bit more, as well as it would boost mine to be able to beat the biggest guy in the power plant one on one. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, but that hasn't been done yet. The only match that he lost was that fatal four way, I believe. Um, which was a hell of a match. I watched that match intently. Titan's a great competitor, but simply as a champion, I'll hold the championship proud, and I'll do my best to represent the power plant as best as I can. And I guess we'll just see what happens from there.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Sabbath, and
Thank you.
well, good luck at breakdown. I'm sure. Well, you already know what Samararo is capable of, and I'm pretty sure he knows partially what you're capable of. So I'm sure it's going to be a exciting match to see. And again, thank you for joining us, and good luck.
Thank you very much.